else?
I don't know what that is.
You know all the pretentious words. I thought you would. I think it's like
that one's on the to-learn list, I suppose.
Okay, here we go. Straight into the Counter-Strike. Overpass. I do love this map, and KNG's already getting early info. Nothing early towards Playground. The CTs will adopt accordingly. 3 towards Underpass as well. Looks like it could swing up towards the party side of the map.
Sounds in a deep position, might get a free kill, and that can surely allow players to rotate towards the A bomb site as long as Cello is spotting the monster position. Okay, he's taking the alternative angle. He's got some warning for the door position. It's hard to deal with this immediately, but he'll get there in the end. Trade for DreamEaters, and now there's a rotation for INTZ. Cello's got a lot to do.
That's a
no push through monster just yet. Squeezing through the short position. And he's going to get taken out. Yell trying to hold down his position. Back of the smokes now, and there's not much he can really do. 2 versus 4. Not a good situation for INTZ.
It's going to be very interesting.
It is indeed. Yell and KNG. What can they really do in this spot? It is a piss run after all, so it's all about the headshots. KNG going to the high grounds. Yell's got the defuse kit.
The smokes as well were real, like, I mean, it's basic stuff, of course. It just, you know, obscures heaven, obscures the bridge, but it's just locked them out completely. You get that one fight on towards Cello, and then the rest were completely helpless. It will wrap up. Crad and Forrester responsible for those frags, and we've got ourselves a nice first round on the board for DreamEaters. They are the underdogs in this one, Bardolph, but in your mind, by what kind of margin?
It was quite heavily favoured for DreamEaters in the... It was quite heavily favoured for DreamEaters in the strafe percentages. It's hard to say, really. I mean, they should be a strong favourite, but you just don't know. There's going to be plenty of weirdness going on for both squads, so
weirdness all around, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know what to. To be honest, I think DreamEaters have got plenty more holes in their game. I think INTZ have a very deliberate style, especially on their T side, where they want to punish CTs for looking for information, essentially, and that can take a hell of a long time sometimes. But even in those rounds where they push a site with 15 seconds, I feel like they might get more out of it in this particular series than they might against a higher tier opponent.
We are going to see very minimal investment from INTZ. Just the flashbang from Yell. That would keep Anders happy. He always wanted one piece of utility.
Yeah, we're the same.
And that's going to be good. The flash does render them a frag. Admittedly, the bullets of KNG do the majority of the work. The lion's share done. Sviat, however, has a MAC-10. They have no Kevlar. And this round is as good as over. It almost was before the buy came in. Kinky. Oh my goodness, we're casting Kinky. How exciting. Gets himself a double.
We are in Germany after all.
Yeah, we're in the right place. The things I saw walking around Pride yesterday, my goodness.
So, KNG shook my hand yesterday.
Yeah.
I just met him randomly and shook my hand.
Is that the end of the story, or is there more?
Well, give me a second, Alex. I've been talking for like 5 seconds.
I'm just trying to be sassy.
For God's sake. So, about 35 weeks ago,
ooh,
I tweeted... I only know this because it says on Twitter, right, like 32 weeks ago or whatever, I tweeted put KNG in MIBR, right? Because I want to see what happens with that. Because it's like, if that's what they want to do, let it happen. So obviously Noah Winston was like, I'm never hiring him again. Never say never. There's no need to just put yourself in a corner
Justin
like that.
Bieber, 2018.
Yeah, he's been sent packing anyway. He's made his money and he's been released by Immortal, so to speak. So now the channels are open. So I kind of quoted that tweet, and someone tweeted it to KNG, and then he randomly came up to me and shook my hand. So
oh, nice.
I think he appreciates the support.
I'm sure he
Basically,
does.
I think that's confirmation. What more evidence do you need?
Well, we saw the way Yell answered the question, Banks, which was, you know, got to give credit to James for asking that question. I'm sure he wasn't told to. That's just him pursuing information. The way Yell handled it was, you know, overwhelmingly positive. The objective, he made it clear, was INTZ to the major. They love each other. They want to do that. They're one game away. Truly, win one game, they complete that objective. The rest is just going to be about that Hollywood tale. How far can we go, boys? Let's work hard and see. But there is still that, you know, I don't think there's any bad blood in the fact that KNG could be offered, you know, the Real Madrid contract for his region. I mean, that's...
No. I think it's actually a win-win for Yell.
Yeah.
In some ways, because I feel like in his last 3 rosters, he's always been a second sniper. And he's a really good sniper. I think he's got the right style to be a primary sniper for his squad. But right now, he's playing under KNG. Before, he was playing under Henny as well. Oh. And I feel like it's at least 3 rosters where he's been a second AWP, and I think that he can absolutely shine if he's given the space to do so himself. So So I think that if they are to lose KNG, as long as they replace him with a strong player, I think Yell can definitely pick up the mantle in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, Yell, I remember him being a topic of discussion. Now, of course, with leadership And you can't really argue when KNG is asking for the AWP. Such a prominent talent. No armor for him coming into this round. It's the closest we've been to a full buy. Of course, welcome to Counter-Strike in 2019. Scout, Mac 10, MP9 across the 10 players in the server. Quick Molotov towards short. That will stem any early CT aggression. Not for the T's, though, as they take early water control. Actually, what's this? Speaking of aggression, Destiny's eating the flashbang. He looks to cower in the smoke. They pass each other. He could do so much damage if he times this right. Yell's on the other side to receive. Destiny, he's screaming. He's going to get caught. Forrest that does manage to catch him, courtesy of Speedak's early flash. Now Yell, desperate with the MP9, only gets, well, a bit of a tag. Forrester down to 58, but Cello, he's in the site. He has to do so much here. He's already been taken down.
Oh, no.
Oh, Krad's going to get it. Down to now 3v2. They can't get that bomb down. Uncontested. 2 CTs remain.
Sand playing for the bomb plant. There was an angle for cover, but maybe he would have been, if someone was on the inside of that pillar, they might have seen his shoulder.
Speedak.
So he took the safe route. And there's some Counter-Strike timing for you. Speedak moonwalking into his dooms and creates some space for himself, but there's an angle I was talking about. Forrester has a little peek. Krad still in the water. They're looking for the second frag. They're looking for KNG. You can see him creeping at the moment. He spotted one by the pillar. Sees him again. There's a bomb. Makes things a little more difficult. Krad will look to collect it. Does he hear the rotation? Zand is running away towards the A bomb site. So I mean, he's going for longest rotation, but I mean that can quite clearly be heard. So it allowed Krad to plant the bomb with confidence.
But if you think about it as well, is he going monster? For now, Krad, he's just going to almost have to play with the assumption that monster and short are just not available to him. So look at the way he's positioned. Now he can work together with KNG coming from as a unified force. I say that Krad can get this shot, and that KNG, no armor, no hope. He's gone. And another one for the DreamEaters. Zona roars here in the studio in Berlin as DreamEaters, the odds stacked against them. But whoa, they have been. They've been the loud ones, but they weren't here for the Americas minor. I think INTZ will fight back, fire with fire.
Yeah, I don't know what I think of that rotation, because the sound cues are clearly there, and it just gave him the green light to plant the bomb. So it made his life easier and took the pressure off him from planting and fearing being peeked, to them having to play a post plant. Even with the rotation, they couldn't have a two-man setup. Didn't quite work out their way, and they find themselves now still looking for their first round.
I did my research, by the way, James.
Oh, yeah?
Cornichons are just tiny pickled cucumbers.
Tiny ones?
Tiny, tiny.
Oh, there's really, really small ones?
Yeah.
Like cocktail stick ones?
Precisely.
Oh.
So as your income goes up, your cucumbers get smaller.
Oh, marvelous.
That's a gross laugh. I'd like to apologize to everyone that had to listen to that.
Well, we've got one player lost already for INTZ, so it's not a great start for them on their CT side of Overpass. Their money will be rising, of course, so there's perhaps a saving grace. The AWPs will be coming. In the meantime, Forrester creeps into the short B position. I do wonder, actually, we've seen a trend of CT sides blowing off this door to make the T's a little more vulnerable.
Oof.
So we'll see if that is something that INTZ choose to employ. Some footsteps heard in connector. DreamEaters still comfortable. Standard anti-eco stuff now, going up the long position using max range, but they don't have position for toilets to split the site.
Yeah, INTZ, they're going to have a slow start in this game. I mean, it makes sense. You can see the way the cards have fallen. It was always close, but Forrester, you have to give credit to him. He's got 7 kills to his name coming into round 4. He's not done yet, of course. 3 more available to him if he wanted that ace. But yeah, it's going to ensure that this round goes his way. Takes KNG down on long. Yell, I mean, you're looking for just something. A gimmick frag, a cheeky weapon. Nothing more. But DreamEaters, but the fact that they haven't had to pay any price for this round, you know, not losing a single AK, not being destabilized by anything, you know, a CT stack, this is where they can start to build up the bank. And rather appropriately, that's where Yell finds himself. Perhaps he can catch them on the exit.
Kinky's up front, just keeping an eye on the bomb, as is Krad. And there's a big headshot from Speedak, so DreamEaters start with momentum. Now again, in their previous matches with Simon, momentum went back and forth quite violently. But if INTZ get momentum, I think it will be hard to wrestle it back, especially on the CT side, or maybe both sides, really.
I do love this graphic.
I like the toxic green keyboard.
I was going to comment on that earlier. It looks like a nuclear keyboard.
Yeah. There's an Oceanic team who have toxic colors like think it's like pink and
like
toxic green.
Mind Freak or something. That sounds.
I think it's the same team you're thinking about. But
Painted
anyway.
Minds, perhaps. I don't know.
Yes. So we've got a double ops as expected for INTZ. They've gone for guns over utility, and that's never a bad option when you've got snipers like those on your team. I think they will be more prepared for this. This is a pick of DreamEaters, but still, INTZ should be a much stronger team overall, but they still need to prove that.
Yeah, INTZ, I mean, they've been on the precipice of breaking through. You know, not only there's a battle for best team in Brazil, it does seem like that's actually quite a very big battle in the grand scheme of Counter-Strike. There's always one duking out with the rest, and especially now given the void that has been left by MIBR, they're in a state of disarray. INTZ looking to climb that ladder. Well, it starts here. Getting yourself to the major. One win is all you need. 4 teams in attendance, just one will not make it, courtesy of Cloud9. Oh, look at the dance around these toilets. Fiat just on the other side of the wall.
KNG's crept in from long. He was holding the entrance from Party, but he's had to go a bit deeper to help his teammate out. Now, they've got the sound cues, but they don't know what the front of the site is saying, and now they'll see that it's more or less clear. We've got Sviat still hiding in the corner. INTZ waiting towards the bomb site, and DreamEaters will look to burst. But what will the flashbangs be like? They'll be pretty damn good. Destiny will somehow get a frag, but Yell can't do anything. Just out of position, going back around this pillar doesn't work, but there's still 20 seconds to plant this bomb, and Zan's in a very strong position, but out in the open, he will be triple peaked, and that through those flames will stop Cello from stopping the plant. We've got a creep in a short B position, but Speedak's looking for it on the site. Cello can say that there's a scope.
God.
Does KNG continue walking into the angle? He does. How does he get there first? That's ridiculous. What a retake from INTZ.
How does he get that? His full kneecap is there. He's got a target on his skull. Doesn't look like it's going to end this any different unless Fiat, he throws this one away. KNG onto the side, though, with a smoke. I might have to eat my words. He doesn't have a kit. Taking the fight. It's a quick flick from KNG. And I can't believe
That's
INTZ.
so sick.
DreamEaters did everything right. It was basic, but it was beautiful. Couple of flashbangs, you get the double kill on the CT. Cello only gets one before he goes down. It's a 2v4 after plant, and they pick it apart. KNG, you naughty boy.
That peak is so disgusting. He knows he can't scope because he doesn't get peaked. But the team's just not expecting him to be standing there. He knows it's
In the
KNG.
open, yeah.
Don't expect the orb to be there. It just gets absolutely wrecked.
And the way Counter-Strike works as well, he hits one bullet before KNG takes that flick. He's slowed. He's struggling to even get his crosshairs on him. Oh, it's all about speed, and he's got plenty of it.
Yeah, that was an expensive buy from the CTs in the sense that they didn't really have anything left. They had plenty of shortcomings. They were lacking grenades and so on. So, again, it's that situation where DreamEaters have a huge opportunity because INTZ survived with only one player. Their buy's going to be pretty awful, to be honest, in the next round in comparison to what the Ts should be able to pull out.
But that wasn't, like, that's not a confident, that doesn't make you more confident coming into the next round, does it? If you're
No, it should.
You think so?
Absolutely, because it's like if they finally win one round and they only survive with one player, it's like, okay, if we break them in this round,
Sure.
we're probably looking at a 7-1 scoreline.
But, oh, I love this. They've done this before. You can catch them in 2 different, he's looking for the boost at the moment, or the jump peak for info. They can be peeking, of course, from heaven. I don't think he's going to get anything this round, actually. You can see this, the X-ray. An aggressive short push has actually been adopted.
Yeah, interestingly, this has allowed INTZ to make up for some of their shortcomings. The SMG, the lack of grenades. Having 2 players in the short B position really, really helps them out. Gives them plenty of information. Because you need short B, in most cases, to set up for a push towards B, unless you want to just walk in with no grenades through the monster tunnel. Which can be thrown in every now and then, but the likelihood is pretty low. Now we'll see where Zan chooses to go. He can jump on the rail to look through the tunnel. He would see their legs slightly before they would see him. But he's concerned for a boost. No sound cues for DreamEaters just yet.
He has the support of Destiny. Out they come. Flash there. Kinky's not dying. Finally goes down, but punished again. Speedak with the AWP. He's been playing at close quarters. Yell's firing off some warning shots, but my goodness, they're in trouble. Forest around Monster. Yell, he's aware of it. Cognizant that he has to be playing this one smart. Doesn't want to blow his load too early. This is his chance. Sviat needs to go down. The flash is so good. Just as the fight takes place. Cello, he's on the other end of the map. No health, no hope. This will be 5 for DreamEaters.
Yeah, basically, I think if you're the captain of the team, or there's a timeout and you're the coach, then it's a way to give your team confidence in losing around, make it even feel like a good thing. If you can win around, if you can lose around in that fashion, and you're in such a stronger position. And there have been worse buys as well. When a team has won that one round. So now they've made life a lot easier for themselves. Although there is an AWP still in the hands of INTZ, and that is always a problem.
If you're Cello, do you need to take that shot? Like, that guy walks past you. Now he could get hunted down. It doesn't look like it's going to come back to haunt him. I think it's realizing he does have that AWP, but it's another $50 in his pocket, right? That's spending money. Get himself a whole lot of pick and mix with 50 euros. What was your go-to pick and mix treat? Did you ever dabble? A little plastic bag?
We had 20p mix, 30p mix. But
what, pre-mixed?
Yeah, but
nice.
my friend would actually steal the whole bucket of them from the shop.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm so glad we
just because he could.
I'm so glad we can come clean. I've stolen one thing in my life, and
Yeah.
it was a transparent bag of cherries. The sour cherries, I really liked them. They were selling a big, like a good weighty bag of cherries, and I didn't have any pocket money, so I put them in my school bag and I ran away. Oh my god, it feels good to say it out loud.
I stole a Batman keyring once.
A Batman keyring?
From the front of a magazine.
Oh.
I stood in front of it with my hands behind my back and just kind of peeled it up from under the sellotape. It took ages.
You really wanted it?
I really wanted it, man. I didn't have no money.
Of course not. That was going to be a good Batman keyring. That's probably going to be VIP, man.
They've actually managed to get a force buy. I guess the loss bonus is, of course, higher than it would otherwise be back in the day. And there we go, KNG. If there's an AWP save, there's always a problem. So the buys go from bad to worse to terrible for INTZ. But they have such heavy output with a sniper rifle that that's always going to be a problem. Sviat with some free fire, hearing some sounds. KNG's been lost, though.
Now,
that's a big scalp to take.
Yeah, he was very confident taking that fight. No worries. Couple of bullets and body dropped. 5-1. DreamEaters, this is the T side of Overpass. Yes, their map pick, but they are looking firmly in control. And the odds certainly didn't have them as the favorites. Now turning tail, starting to head towards the A site. On reception will be Cello. The check-in desk. Let's see. Kinky wants to check in first. Forrester's next on the chopping block, but he's got something to say. Shouts back. Now to the 3v3. Weapons still firmly favor the T's here, but the bomb's not going down. The smoke's a little late to arrive. Let's Yell set up alongside Zand.
Destiny poking out is pretty key, but he's been heard because Fiat was still holding close to connector. And it seems the CTs are going to slowly back away from the A-bomb site.
Indecisive, or
maybe he was trying to bait them or something. I'm not quite sure.
Because Forrester's still there. I mean, he's likely going to have heard some of those steps from Yell.
I like this angle he's holding.
Mm.
On the stairs here, you can have a nice angle towards trucks. If the T's try to cross, you'll see them, but he's gone a little deeper. You can see them looking for it as well. Sviat is going to poke out. Yelma fighting to the death immediately. Just trying to get the information, jiggling left and right. Speed could get caught with a grenade, but he won't. Go down the stairs. Zand will take out Forrester. He was spotted on the reload of Yell as well. It still doesn't finish his reload. That could have been a little awkward. But there we go. Surviving with a few more now. They've got time to rescue the AWP as well.
Nice work from INTZ. Yell got so much information from Bank. The fact that he fell off, he got, not only did he see the barrel of the AWP close, he saw where the bomb was planted and where the guy who planted went. Saw him crossing back towards bin. That was a boatload of information he got for free, and probably a likely catalyst to winning that round.
It was super awkward for Yell because he saw the guy by the bin as he was reloading, and then cancelled his reload, and then he pushed here and then ran out of bullets again. So Zand had to make the save in both of those situations. Otherwise, it might have been a 2K. So that was pretty nervous stuff.
Do you have any opinion whatsoever about the low ammo sound they added to guns?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's only client side, which I think is good. At first, I was like, "Oh my god, it's
Oh, they hit it!
Yeah, they landed it again. But look at the response from INTZ. That's the thing. You know that almost the entire team is in one spot. So often you'll see an aggressive response. We've got Yell creeping through, trying to creep through Monster. He got shot by Forrester. KNG's in a very forward position. There are two players in the playground area. That's a beautiful. This is a good round for DreamEaters.
This is so
Bearing
good.
in mind that INTZ are trying to stabilize their economy. That's not quite happening at the moment, is it?
Oh my god. I mean, that is just goals, isn't it? You haven't had to lift a finger. You just had to stand still. Shot did catch one. Zand, of course, forced to watch as then Destiny gets caught through the wall. Forrester, fantastic work from him. Those are the, what do you call them? Those are the kind of initiatives, those early round initiatives that can really render you a free round. This one, perhaps not free though. Yell, he's looking to make them pay. Sviat gone, the second AWP's there. KNG misses his first. It's unlikely he gets a second though before he dips away from the flames. 3 versus 3. They have managed to stabilize after DreamEaters. Heroics early. KNG's in trouble though. And this double AWP is starting to become a problem. Nade does dunk KNG. In the meantime, Cello's from behind, strikes onto Speedak. Just Forrester. Can he dip away? I think he can. There's somewhat of a gap, and already he's knife out straight towards A.
They had no flashes left. It's amazing. One of them survived. Should have been over. A few AWP shots missed. They'll soon know that it's time to rotate. There we go. Got Cello up top already. He's got an off angle. Forrest is not ready for it.
Oh, we have coach cams. I love this. Thank you, StarLadder. I want more of this. He's still got his signature, like, flex with all the name tags.
Yeah, he's trying to rep the CEO of StarLadder. They will add up chain points.
Yeah, it's like fans, you know, you get 50 cents for everyone you find to just walk around the event.
I was walking in Berlin the other day, like 2 days ago, and this woman asked me if I'd finished with my Red Bull can, and she was on the way to a recycling center.
Yeah.
So asked me if she could have it, so I just popped it in her bag. It was great because I couldn't find a bin.
So this is really interesting. That's actually a huge part of like the German city culture. They do a lot of drinking, like public drinking, because you can do so. And so you go to the kiosk or the spatty, you buy yourself beers, and almost always, without fail, there will be someone who is using the fan. Every time you return it to a supermarket, you get 50 cents. I think it's 25 actually. So that really adds up quick. And they walk around with big bags or trolleys, and you can basically, if you put, no one's going to judge you if you put a bottle somewhere neatly on the street, because you're giving money to someone. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And always glass, no plastic here in Germany, I noticed.
INTZ giving himself some money. I'm guessing Cello rotated all the way back down towards B to get the second AWP. DreamEaters down to the pistols now. So now we see the real test for them. Now their money has been drained, and INTZ might have a chance finally to stabilize.
We'll see. DreamEaters, they did get off to a flying start, but how do they handle adversity? How do they handle Zand potentially ripping them off? With the MP9, that weapon is a bulldozer against unarmored opponents.
I think maybe we'll see Yell playing from this position more, because when DreamEaters have executed into... I mean, it might be because they're expecting assault pistols, but when they've executed into the B bomb site, he's been eating flashbangs time and time again around that pillar position, which is just not ideal for an AWP. Lining up for Cello in a tight choke point, and everyone survives for INTZ. That's exactly what they wanted and needed.
That's so satisfying to watch. Like, it's just, that's clearly their anti-eco, like, this is how we handle a B. They have someone spotting for early info on the other site, and then Yell just sits there with a flashbang. As soon as utility or steps is called by Destiny, flash towards Monster, Cello's responsible for short, Yell supports short should Cello fall. It's such a clear little trio with a very basic flashbang, and it just worked. I mean, that was really satisfying to watch. No real sacrifices made for DreamEaters now after their quote-unquote eco, half-buy, whatever you want to call it. Galil just for Speedak as they start to line up. I'm going to take note of this smoke. Where's that going?
Probably to the balcony, I think.
Straight through short. Yell. Oh, it looked a little indecisive. Is it the nade? Is it the zoom banger? He doesn't know what he wants. Zand, however, emerging through the smoke. He's flash. He's dead. Sviat. The contingency plan does pay dividends. Already, DreamEaters have a man advantage. Now they start to storm the site. So much smoke. Destiny could play with it. Pushing through. This is good, but no, again, Speedak on the back, keeps them safe and sound. Only one for Cello before he's caught. Speedak gets another, the Galil not holding him back.
Ooh.
Oh, but Yell.
Looking, he can hear one player by the pillar trying to pre-fire. He can quietly reposition now. KNG's being hunted in the meantime. They know that one is towards the short B position, but where is the bomb? Bomb's on the site at the moment, so he might not get to catch somebody crossing. KNG's gone for a long rotation, and Yell's backing off to the high ground. So taking more passive positions, but they know that the bomb still needs to make its way to the site somewhere. It can be planted near that pillar. Sviat with a beautiful rotation. He's going to T-spawn. So are you going to just wait and try and flank Yell on this position?
If Kinky does anything other than stand still, he could get caught out here. Looks like he's doing exactly that.
Was he faking the def cam? I think maybe he was faking the def cam because he ran towards T-spawn, but he's gone back and Yell's gone towards A.
Oh. When you hit, sometimes the worst words you could possibly hear are explosives planted. You know, that you're on the other side of the map and you realize, okay, we've got ourselves somewhat of an issue here. INTZ. I have to admire the patience of DreamEaters. They don't want to be caught out. I am kind of surprised they haven't started planting yet. There we go. And so, Yell, does he have a go at this?
He's got a kit. He's 1v2.
It's unlikely they're going to give him anything. I mean, a wallbang through that box. I mean, hindsight and X-ray, they are really gorgeous things, but Kinky chose not to move a muscle after getting that bomb down. Sviat covering heaven. This would be an AWP versus AWP 1v1. He gets the info. 1 versus 1. Does have a smoke and a kit, but Kinky wise to swing there. He knew he'd either catch him in transition and Zona. My goodness, he's not going to have any vocal cords left at the end of this.
God, that looks really, really terrifying for Kinky. He doesn't look comfortable in that situation, and who would be? Against Brazilian snipers, it's the nightmare. You're delivering some awesome kills from this position. Patience paid off for the timing there, but it was an expensive round for INTZ. But it had money in the hole, but that money is gone. This is a key round for both squads.
Big
Reasonable level of grenades for INTZ, and Cello's gone in a forward position around the toilets, and KNG will keep an eye along for the time being. 3 towards B once again. But yeah, still happy to move around the pillar, but he will be active. Cello could see some shadows if the T side try to creep through the smoke, and maybe they'll actually do
I love it.
that.
This is so DreamEaters.
Oh, no!
What? All their backs were turned. Okay, thank goodness. Crad saves the day. That could have been the most awkward thing in Counter-Strike history. My goodness, 3 of them just strolling past. Perhaps the flash caught them as well. Zan, though, he's got so much work to do. Cello already caught out. Their SMGs are just doing work. Crad's upgraded from UMP to AWP. The acronyms keep hitting shots. Now, Yell, what can you do? Just the one onto Kinky, starting to divert his attention towards the other side. He's not quite committing to it. That could have been his way back into this round. But that, it's one of those, isn't it? Jumps! Forrester punished. Now could be the 1 versus 2. I think he's jumping for info. He's going to very quickly work out that this is not the site of Crad and Speedak. Crad, what a round from him.
Yeah, he had the grenades being deployed in the meantime, so learned that he'd been sold a fake. But is he ready for Speedak's angle? Doesn't matter because Crad's got the same one. Well, now things are getting really, really interesting. He's loving life, man. This is hilarious.
We were being taught by some of the StarLadder crew what they're saying, and actually sometimes it's here we go. They were just walking past.
Could have been 3. They were they were literally lined up.
But yeah,
like a North Korean military.
My God, Crad, what a round 4 in that round. Yeah, I think we all know that feeling in Counter-Strike, and a tactical pause, understandably. Get Coach back on the microphone. He has been nothing short of exemplary, getting to see just how passionate he can be for his boys. Now, one game, 1 best of 3 from the Major, realizing those dreams. It's such a... I mean, these tournaments are fun because you do get to just see so many hearts on their sleeve as they step into the server.
Yeah. It's such an interesting matchup, just how obscure both teams' styles are.
Right.
To have never played each other and have to kind of figure it out in a best of 3 series. It's probably a lot more difficult than you might think.
Thought it was going to catch them. The CTs were charging towards Party, but thought better of it. That's a smoke towards toilets from Crad.
It's a pop flash play. Yell's got the setup. Waiting for some sound cues. There goes the flash. Crad's going to eat it, but he's behind the wall. See 1 or 2 players. Molly to create some space. Bomb can be collected by Sviat and made their way towards B bomb site. The rest of the team are making entries there. And they will hear the rotation from Forrester's position, I do believe. But a bunch of USPs and a P250. Don't know that much can be done here.
Oof. Lovely little shot. But yeah, this one is going to be what they call an open and shut case. Zan's just trying to get some style points, but Speedak, he's all the more stylish. Clips him in the bottom.
The loudest scream for the anti-eco round. Where are your USPs now?
We were supposed to win that round, and we did.
We had high percentage odds of success.
I mean, I do wonder how much of it is exclusively for his team. I can't help but feel like in his mind, it's just to keep the boys, afloat.
Yeah.
It's an interesting conversation though about because there have been a lot of passionate and loud teams. The conversation that sometimes crops up on desks when they are present is, it's great when you're winning, but as soon as you start to face adversity and those cheers they start to happen more and more infrequently, it becomes a bit more obvious. The void, the absence of the cheering, it can almost do worse than the presence of it during success.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's good to be consistent.
Like the Astralis, love them or hate them, help. They did manage to have a consistent passion that was there even in the face of a deficit and of adversity.
I remember when the DreamHacks, the Swedish teams would have those kind of vintage football rattler things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw JW swinging those back in the day.
It was Carrigan, I swear, had a big. It was his prop.
Yeah, bring those back.
I can imagine the admin's face when you pull that out of your backpack. I'm sure he hates it. The audio guy's just screaming, toes curling.
Maybe they were banned.
Maybe.
Get the vuvuzelas going.
Don't you dare say the word vuvuzela.
DreamEaters charging into the B bomb site, but that's a very, very timely smoke in the short position, and they'll abandon ship. The bomb's rotating now. KNG's in a position, though. The Org is going to cut them to pieces like a cheese grater. Swinging, they were lining up for him, but finally there'll be the first frag for DreamEaters. 2 versus 4. You can see Cello's got all the information. We'll move into a more aggressive position and make life even worse. Got Yell dealing with Connector. Remainder at the back of the A bomb site, look at that. Somehow it's a 2 versus 2. Huge headshots from DreamEaters across the map.
INTZ, that is going to be haunting should this round slip away. 4 versus 2, and they just start the CT wiggle. They're repositioning back turn from Crad. Cello didn't finish. He's such a bad habit. We've seen him do it before during the Americas Minor. Tags up, does not frag up, and now Cello, fortunately, does make good of his promise he made earlier. Makes 2. And stabilizes for INTZ, and he needed that. A full monologue.
Something's definitely going to get punched if they win. I don't know if it's going to be the wall, a monitor, a referee. Referee's going to go through the monitor.
Let's have a look. So just a quick recap of how the rounds have played out. You can see that the initial start from DreamEaters did make things look very, very handsome. 5-1. INTZ then managed to find their 5. And then 3 back returned from DreamEaters. Whether or not they'll find another, it looks like the odds are stacked against them. Saying that, the boost is back. Not again! Surely, if that was Zand, surely you learned the first time. Maybe this is not something I should add to my repertoire. A strafe, an unnecessary jump.
We don't see too much adjustment from INTZ after that shot, but maybe you don't want to be too deep versus mostly pistols, if they are aware of that.
I just love the amount of coordination it requires. Everyone has to be on the same page. You rehearse it, practice it in the server.
I'm impressed that you don't often see the top player slide off as well.
Yeah.
Every now and then you do, but very seldom.
Just 1, 2, 3, 4. You probably have an order. You know which man you are in the totem pole. Whose man's is this?
The traveling circus. Well-timed smoke grenade. Always nice to have the deeper smoke grenade, so it's harder to burst through it. We saw Destiny earlier trying to make his way past the opponents, but the problem is if you block them in the smoke, it's pretty obvious that someone is in your way, and then you start spraying, and then you're dead. All of a sudden. A few more pieces of utility to drop. There's the incendiary. Nothing doing just yet. Last incendiary is on A, so we've got no more grenades of any kind on the B bomb site for INTZ. It's going to be a dry peek from someone. I
mean, this is where DreamEaters, I don't want to say they look uninspired, but it is, they've only got a limited amount of options, and this is often the outcome. They do manage to connect one. Forrester's Deagle's there. They just have support of Speedak. Crad suddenly swings. Zand looking to pick this pieces back together again. Forrester gone. Just Speedak. He was the AWP and just tapped away now by the SMG. KNG's there. Should he swing and backing away with just 3 points of health. A slow crawl out of Monster was the strategy. And he does manage to keep hold of that AWP. No complaints, I'm sure. They managed to do a lot of damage with very little there.
Yep, definitely worth holding on to the AWP in that situation. I don't think he'll have any money for grenades, but AWP is a lot more important. We'll see what they're able to offer around it. Starting to look pretty close at half-time. We've got 1 round to go, and there's only a 2-round gap at the moment. But the AKs are back out for DreamEaters. That was the hero AWP round, and now they've got the rifles around the AWP for that final round. Speedak would be able to eke out 2 flashbangs, actually, so that's pretty solid stuff. There's an opportunity for KNG, but nothing doing this time.
Jello could get challenged on long. I'm trying to see if there's an AWP there. I can see it, just the silhouette of Speedak in playground. And what is this? Another boost. One boost, perhaps, trying to peek the long. Maybe. Crad didn't quite get the trajectory he was looking for. Now Cello. Does he choose to swing on this? There's 3 players to find, and Sviat trained his aim straight onto the brain. And now another one, Speedak, takes KNG. Just like that, the defense falls. Feathers rustled, and now Zand, oh, he's found himself. Okay, so this is the the everything. The smoke arrives, you just cannot move. Zand, he's even staring at the wall, doesn't want his barrel to show. But whether or not they choose to execute on this is a gorgeous little fake from Crad. He's going to commit. Well, wholeheartedly just commit
oh, wow.
to this.
They've pulled Yell completely out of position. He was in the short B area, keeping an eye on a rotation, and he's left his position entirely, and he's gone back towards barrel, so he's going to have minimal information. And that's a shot from Zan's going to make Yell rotate again. He's starting to make his way towards A, and suddenly he's like, oh my god, they're all on the B bomb site. We've made terrible mistakes. We've been baited. And now we're in a lot of trouble. He's got to hold his position.
Flash.
Takes out Kinky before the flash comes up. You've got 2 players on the site, one in the short B position. Yell trying to hop onto the rail, but he misses it completely. That might save him, actually. He's got some help from the high ground. But he's running out of bullets as well. He's got 2 bullets left, and down he goes. Leaves it all to Zan, creeping by the pillar. He's going to have a quick look, trying to bait for information.
20 seconds. Bomb does go down. They know where he's coming from. A triple peak. You can't touch them. 9-6 on the half. DreamEaters. It's their map and it's their T side. A comfortable lead. 9-6 as we prepare for the second half. The CSGO Minor play-ins continue. Our first game of 4, StarLadder, INTZ versus DreamEaters. It's a spot in the Major. You win 1 best of 3, and you are off to the the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Of course, it starts in the Music Hall, and then if you do manage to prevail in your opening gambits in the Challenger stage, that Mercedes-Benz for the champions. Well, it's a huge arena. You walked past it, didn't you?
I walked past it, yeah. There's a 5 guys next to it. That's the most important thing.
You're so excited about the 5 guys. James often excited by 5 guys, actually. But this is the first half score. You can see a triple peak was how it ended. Still a firm opportunity for INTZ. However, I'm not sure how their T side will fare. You have KNG doing his very best once he gets that AWP, but it's just not necessarily looking too good for the South Americans on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, DreamEaters won some jewels a lot more confidently than I would have expected with this particular matchup, but
yeah,
maybe the difference will be made in the AKs now, and it's INTZ's turn to pick those up a little later on. We have Sviat with a smoke in the diffuse kit. Everybody else has got the Kevlar on, out like Stormzy. Yell with a smoke and 2 flashes. No P250s, despite all the ranges on this map. Cello's got some grenades as well. So INTZ have got some serious intention. They don't want to have one of those grenade-carrying players drop too early. Oof. Could get that molly towards the dice position where Crad will fall back to. Cello might be offering that pretty soon. Very strong molly to have, but there is a flank coming in from Sviat. Yells expected it, and those are a lot of grenades disappearing.
Into the ether.
Yes, into the ether, into the cosmos.
The endless void. Crad looking to take a fight. Love this presence of mind. A bit of aggression keeps the CTs informed, and or even more than that, Speedak, he's so ready to take the fight. The CIS squads, they are bloodlusting. They often do, and often it pays dividends. Destiny, however, treats fire with fire. Speaking of, it's now licking the flames of Zan. Forrester finishes what the flames started. 3 versus 2. It's problematic. Destiny needs to convert. He does. 2 versus 2 with the bomb down.
There is a flank. They only know where Forrester is. They don't really know where Sviat is at the moment. That's a huge headshot. Makes life a lot harder for Destiny. Doesn't have the range for that duel with the Glock. Really nervous stuff. Trying to get a 1v1, so he will, but Sviat will splat him.
He looks directly at his opponents. It's like full-on eye contact. He's like one of those intimidating wolves, you know? They just stare you down, growl at you a little bit. I don't know. I'm talking about wolves as if I've ever encountered
He's the
one.
biggest cheerleader I've ever seen.
Yeah, wouldn't mess with DreamEaters, that's for sure. And the second round bye, do scribble down some notes here because it's 3 MP9s. But look at this. Welcome to 2019. We've got ourselves 2 AKs, full nades for KNG. They have put a whole lot into Yell and KNG. Destiny's got himself the AK-47 as well. Admittedly, no helmet. That could come back to haunt him should he meet one of the 3 SMGs he goes up against. But these buys, ooh, if that flash wasn't there, that was a very dead Kinky.
Awkwardly, in a situation like that where you get an early Molotov, you need your Ts to go through the playground area and you've got to throw a flash for them towards party to the inside wall. Well, that's generally how you would do it, but the problem is the people with all the utility are the people with all of the rifles as well. So there'll be some dry peaks from Yell and KNG moving together for a trade frag situation, and Cello will be a little far behind them with the bomb. Kinky's going to have a look. He's creeping. He's creeping. He's edging forward. And he's going to be riddled with bullets. Yell with 26 HP. So they've seen some of the information. I don't think they saw the bomb on the radar just yet, but they've got a strong position in short B DreamEaters, and that's very key for the remainder of this round.
Kinky punished for edging. 10-6 the score. And that one-man lead could cost Yell the majority of his health. Smoke towards the headshot. CT utility in response. Do they choose to push on this? It doesn't look like it. Quite a static setup from INTZ right now. This is the second round. They lost the first. Speed Act charges forward. It's that Russian aggression. And it's rewarded again and again. Double for him as he catches Destiny. Zan's gone as well. And this is going oh so well for the DreamEaters. You stand still. We come to you. DreamEaters stuff. They've got 2 T sides, James. It feels like it.
What does he do? Does he? Oh, he doesn't need to protect the weapons at this point. There's so much stuff on the floor, just running for his life. Lucky for him, he spots Forrester, trying to get around the corner in time. Gonna have to go for the duel, but can't drag his mouse down fast enough. And there are wild sounds. Those are the things you hear when you're just kind of camping in the forest. You just wonder if you're going to be eaten alive tonight,
man.
you know?
I mean, poor Cello, he's running past the picnic blanket. He's like, is that a Molotov? Oh, that looks good. Yeah, please.
And it's the worst picnic location ever as well. It's just like, if you look at it, it's just a really rough place to have a picnic.
It doesn't look great, and it's not like much to look at, you know? Like, you've just got this long, kind of well-mown lawn,
there's
a
like
tree.
4 feet of grass.
Yeah.
Why would you choose to have a picnic there?
I guess there's a playground around the corner, so if you want to like drink wine and forget about the kids,
it's a terrible situation. There's no disabled access for the toilets.
Oh right, I see.
We've tweeted Valve about this. They've done nothing as usual.
Oh, sick and twisted.
Can't let us draw on the map. Can't have disabled access in the toilets.
The drawing on the map fiasco does sound like a spaghetti code, or they just hate you, James. It's one of the two. I think it's either malicious against you, or they've just got spaghetti code that means they can't do it anymore. What's happening here? Looks like we're gonna have a restart.
Yeah. While this happens, might as well mention it. I had a chat with Henry G about this actually.
Okay.
And he had some good suggestions. Like, out of the discussion, we thought, you know, it'd be cool if, let's say, one person could draw on a map, right, and the rest of the team could see it, for example.
Oh,
so if you're trying to call a strat.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know if you've been to Team Liquid's their facility, right, but there's a monitor above every player's station, and the coach can, for example, well, he could draw on the map and say, okay, we're going to do this strat. So when they're playing like an online match or something or in a training, he can communicate to them via the monitor above everybody's screen. So
that's a cool resource.
Yeah, so if you could draw on a map and everybody could see it, you could share the information, then that would be, like if they need to re-implement it from scratch, I feel like you might as well do it right first time and have that stuff. So I sent them a very thorough email requesting all of these things.
I think that's a fantastic initiative.
They didn't reply to it, which...
Not even like an emoji?
Not even
like
an emoji. No, they replied to some things. Sometimes a little trolly for fun. Have a bit of banter with some of them. But
they are good people.
Yeah, they don't want to promise you anything that you could say, they said they'll do this, so, you know. So fingers crossed.
What's the expression?
Non-committal?
No, under promise, over deliver.
Yeah. Well, Forrester's over-delivered in an awkward position. 3 kills, spotted a bomb as well, and all the players. Cello gets taken out pretty quickly. I think he's down to 1 HP. Now he's on none HP. That leaves KNG, who's picked up the M4 from the short B position. That smoke will actually allow him to collect the bomb. So now they don't know where he is anymore. and that gives him an opportunity to do some more damage with a minute 20 on the clock. So perhaps it's risk averse, but
he's just going to be wishing he paid attention in Kevlar sewing class. Could have knitted himself up a little bit of armor, but he's got nothing. Doesn't want to make a peep.
he's got the snake gloves. King snake gloves, not bad.
Are they actually called King Snake?
Yeah.
Well, the dude's called King. I love it. Still, he has gone completely unannounced. At this point, that's the first step. You can do that silently. Takes a little longer.
That, Alex.
Takes a little longer.
KNG don't care about no sound cue.
Why is he a roadman?
It's interesting how he chooses to engage all these angles, especially as a sniper. That's why I love watching Guardian demos on maps, because he knows all the ways you're going to peek as a sniper. So if there's a chance like to elevate himself or something, so if he's walking into an angle, he's going to get legged rather than hitting the chest.
Right.
You can learn a lot from watching a sniper peek some angles.
And I actually was really quite enthralled by Rambo. Yeah, his new little kind of FPS coach tutorials. He was talking about how he thinks people should practice.
I've seen he's been tweeting some videos, but I haven't watched any yet.
So I clicked on the one which said, like, I don't think, deathmatch is a good way to practice, and I was paying attention, and he was just suggesting people do dry run what KNG just did. Walk around the map, and you could see how he was clearing all the corners, while it looks like Yal's cleared out the aggression. CTs did flood towards the fountain area. It was Kinky to lose his life early. That's a lot of nades and weapons squandered. And so 12-6, this is a huge lead for DreamEaters, and now INTZ, they're starting to run out of their margin for error. Every round now truly does matter. That cushion is getting all the more uncomfortable.
Minute 10 on the clock for INTZ. It's not been a good game of Overpass for them so far. They have half the score of their opponent, DreamEaters, who have to feel like a heavy underdog, just based on the opponents that each team generally play. INTZ moving through the monster tunnel, and only Krad's here really to hold things down. We've got Forrester by the short B position, who's not moving just yet. And this is a pretty quiet approach to the site, but this could be colossal for one of these teams. There's a transfer attempt for Krad, does a lot of damage, and Forrester will follow up with some extra damage, and this is an awkward time to have an FPS bug, it looks like. 3v3, 35 seconds on the clock. Yel's in connector looking for Sviat. There he is, but
great
his
placement.
teammates might need help, and that might concede a position in the short B area, but now there's 30 seconds in. Speedax on the site. Two players around the pillar. There's a flick for Speedax, leaving Yel in a 1 versus 2. Trying to find Forrester. You can see there's a bit of teleporting. It might be the best thing Forrester can do at the moment, but he goes down eventually. Now it's 1v1, 14 seconds. No idea where Speedax is. He's hiding behind the rail, looking for the plant attempt. Will Yel swing wide? If he does, surely it's free. Looking around the pillar, and there's Speedax. Beautiful play from him.
He's a gangster. Just staring at the floor.
I have to say, I do think, like, when it was a 3-on-3, I think that 11 FPS bug came in for some people. If you look at how Forrester was moving the short B position.
You can see it in their perspective.
Yeah, because it looks like, when someone's lagging and they're like teleporting around, even from someone else's perspective, you can see if they're...
Oh, interesting. Well, we might...
Like, if you have terrible FPS, you kind of move the same way.
Will we have a timeout called?
So, like, if you were playing on a potato machine, for example.
Yeah.
You can sometimes see that. That's how it looked to me. Because I get that bug when I play sometimes.
Quite the opposite, by the way. I saw the specs for the PCs here at the Miner. They are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not about the performance. It's so people. I was looking at some Reddit threads because Simple had this problem quite recently, and there's a replay of him having the issue, and people were saying it's related to a Windows update. I don't know what it is 100% for sure, but bloody hell does it suck.
It does. It really does.
To touch on deathmatch for a moment, actually, when I'm in LA, sometimes I come across like Cold Zero in deathmatch, but it's quite interesting because for me, I will often do free-for-all deathmatch with the AWP just because when you're in like someone pops out from nowhere, it makes you faster at those kind of situations. But I noticed that like if it's Dust 2, for example, he will play a particular position until he dies. So like he'll play around big box on the platform.
So you learn those angles and how those engagements work.
So rather than just running out and doing random things, he's trying to kind of create a scenario where, let's say, he's being attacked by multiple people. So he's being efficient about how he approaches it rather than just running around headlessly.
And that kind of actually echoes what Rambo was saying in his videos, which is like, deathmatch can create bad muscle memory, same as aimbots, because it's never movements that you'd actually have to make. Whereas for what you're talking about, if you're playing around a piece of cover, that's the same movement, that's the same adjustments that you're going to be used to making. Perhaps not at the same pace, of course.
Yeah.
But all interesting nonetheless. Now, a cute smile from Zona, but I want to remind everyone the situation as it currently stands here. This is a tough one. Looks like DreamEaters, especially given what happened to them yesterday, they are experts of the technical pause. You cannot speak. You have to be so stoic and manage to maintain it. Looks like we're already getting back into this, or at least that's what the high fives suggest. On the other side of things, INTZ looks like they had Cello in a meditative state. You really cannot lose the flow. A strong lead for DreamEaters.
Yeah, the general consensus with that bug seems to be change resolution and then change it back. The odd person says do an alt-tab, but there's a lot of talk about just change the resolution twice and then it goes away. I just restart my game, but then sometimes that happens again, so...
Yeah, I mean, the reason we had such an extended pause yesterday was because I think we were trying to change hard drives.
Yeah, I don't
perhaps
think
a bigger issue.
I don't think it's related to the performance of the PC at all. I think it's just a bug with the operating system, from what we can tell. Ooh,
that's
juicy.
a nice nade.
Apple in the basket. Just making things that little bit worse for INTZ. Looking at the stats for the first two maps, they're pretty even in terms of their success rate. But again, I do think that INTZ should be playing a high level of opposition. So, especially a map like Mirage and Dust 2, I think should favor the snipers of INTZ. But we'll see if they can pull this one back. Not looking likely for this particular round. I do wonder if the score will be an insurmountable task at 6-14. But they'll try and get something done. Yell looking for a peek. Fishing for something. The bomb moving alone around a party area. KNG with, like when the Overpass first came out, that was the peak that the T's used to do. And honestly, back in those days, we didn't really have so many analysts and, like for teams, I mean. But like on Na'Vi, Edward would do that every single round and would never, ever, ever be punished for it.
Well, punishment has been handed out by Speedak consistently. He does it again. Close quarters, though. This is where things get awkward. That's an AWP on the floor. Picked it up into the hands of Cello. Could throw it to KNG. He does have Kev, but no HP. Sviat, he should be able to finish this right here, right now. There's a gap in that smoke. He chooses to exploit it. Pushes through. KNG's not done just yet, but with 1 HP, he really has got no chance to mess this up. First bullet has to connect. Krad has the M4. One shot, and it's taken away from him. Krad keeps the ball in DreamEaters' court at 14. 2 rounds away from taking the first in this series. They win this. They are off to the major, and DreamEaters, a lot of people have them down as the team who are going to have to work the hardest. INTZ, favored by analysts, favored by the bookkeepers. GG Bet did give the odds in favor at the time to INTZ. I think things have shifted. I did just double check. But I wanted to check the maps for this. It's Mirage and Dust 2, should we need it. I'm intrigued to see if INTZ will be able to bounce back, or, well, even
let's not count them out, Alex.
Yeah, you've got faith, James?
Count our chickens before... No, I don't, but I mean, there's still a chance. There's still a chance.
No,
they got pretty far in that round with almost nothing. They've got quite a lot of something, but Forrester might have something more. Still got that smoke to his advantage, and the bomb has been lost. Alex, perhaps you were right.
No, listen, I'm a big sucker for a comeback. I am a huge sucker for that storyline, but when I hear Dan going, maybe they can start something, bringing it back when it's like 14-2. You've got to bite your tongue, man. You've got to be realistic. We're not here to lie to the people.
Yeah, but sometimes it can happen, and sometimes it does.
Yeah, it certainly does. But I'll start
believing.
Make no
assumptions.
Like double digits. Suddenly I will change this entire story. I'll get the pen out. We'll start rewriting.
Awkward is this?
He does get the bomb away. Ooh, I don't think he got licked by the flames. He didn't. So an unannounced bomb retrieval. They'll see it, of course, once the smoke does dissipate. KNG. With that AWP, I do love watching him clear these corners. There is going to be Sviat when he returns out of the sandbag cuddle. What do you do with this? So many CTs now on the site. They can hear the scope. It's surely a moment of time. Look how brave he is. Not going to hit the flick. Doesn't get away with that one. Punished by Kinky. And Forrester's there to find 15. 1 away from DreamEaters. 1-0 up in the series.
He's shrieking like a banshee from a 90s like sci-fi movie or something.
Banshee, what a word.
Just possessed. I love it.
I think some of my favorite folklore is, perhaps folklore is the wrong word, but sirens. What a, like, you know, like in pirate storytelling, the sirens on the rocks that would tempt the player, I'm about to call them players, I've been casting too much Counter-Strike, tempt the pirates to crash their ships on the rocks. Beautiful women. beautiful women singing songs, and then you crash your ship, and, well, they're not so beautiful, actually. They're all nasty. That was my TLDR of what a siren is by Alex Richardson, age 25.
Thank you, Alex Richardson.
Bang. And the dirt is gone, said Barry Scott.
There's a gap, there's a gap. He can't see, but they can see his legs. Maybe there's a chance. It's an AWP. KNG will pick it up. Thank you very much. Kinky, what does he choose to do? If he took KNG, that would be a huge scalp. He's going to see his Brazilian butt, and he's going to get taken out. There's the AWP taken away once again. And that's presence that they need to deal with. And Forrester will take another one. It's made it even worse. Looks like there is no way back into this game of Overpass for INTZ. The bomb separated from Zand. Having a look up long, won't see much of anything. 2 versus 3, if they can combine. Maybe 2 versus 2 is their worst case scenario, wherever they choose to push. Crab spotting on the B bomb site, the other 2 defending on A.
I think Zan's going to be embroiled in some sort of like mumble rap lawsuit. People are going to, you know, some guy with tattoos on his face is going to be looking to take him to court because he wants the name Zand. Maybe it's a verb, perhaps, in a couple of years' time. Cello and Zand, though, are starting to make their way towards the A site. There are plenty of CTs to receive. Kinky will likely be the first. Zand's going to try and draw their attention. There's a flash from his teammate, and off they go. 20 seconds, and it's just like that. 16-6. DreamEaters will take the first map in this series comfortably. It was their choice. Let's not forget there's another map waiting in the wings. Mirage will be INTZ's chance to have a rebuttal. But it's good to see that the CIS squad unfazed by their loss yesterday.
In a weird way, I feel like that's the kind of strongest performance I've seen from DreamEaters yet, right? Against what should arguably be their toughest opposition. So that's quite interesting. What a time to peak.
What a time to peak. I mean, yeah, you couldn't ask for a better moment. It's like, you probably had a conversation. You just say, okay, guys, you've won so many maps of Counter-Strike. I need you to win 2. Just win 2, we're going to the major.
Yeah.
Like I think you leave it as simple as that. Like, you've won so many maps, this is the most important one.
Yeah, and I think that has to be the easiest map in this series for them as well. So I think the rest is going to be interesting. But James Banks, what do you think of that map of Overpass?